Okay. You are aware that you took an oath to uphold the Constitution. You just violated my constitutional rights. You're required to suspect me of a crime before you detain me. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
So, what crime did you suspect me of committing?
Are separate things.
Yeah, law is law, sir.
But we're waiting for the assistance of the
Law,
police
law
to come
is
back
law.
and tell us.
No, you think if the police officer didn't agree with us, he would have just walked that way? He's gonna instruct you guys. He's gonna inform you guys that we're allowed to do this.
Two separate encounters, two different states, one powerful question. Do you have to show ID? In Massachusetts, outside a police department and inside a correctional facility lobby, tensions exploded when officers demanded identification without clearly stating a crime. These officials may have gone too far when they tried to force ID compliance. Original footage comes from Auditing America, a channel dedicated to testing constitutional boundaries and educating the public about civil rights. Will the citizen comply or stand firm? Make sure to subscribe to their channel, link in the description. Follow their work and tell them ID Refusal Pro sent you. We love civil liberties. You're definitely going to learn something, and you're going to have an opinion about this one.
Right now, I'm just asking you some questions.
For what purpose?
For actually filming down back there in our private parking area.
Okay, is that a crime?
It is right now. Do you have your ID?
No, it's not a crime right
Okay.
now.
Can you grab your ID for me, please?
No. Am I being detained for a
206
crime?
Dispatch. We'll be out with a party. Maine and
Am I being detained?
Presently, right now,
For what?
so I can figure out what's going on.
That's not a crime.
Okay, why don't you grab your ID for me?
No.
You're refusing to
Why
ID.
don't, why don't you tell me what crime I'm committing?
Okay, right now, you're a suspicious party.
That's not a crime.
It is a party right now. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
It's not a crime.
Okay, why don't you grab your ID for me
All
so I
right.
can identify you?
No.
You're refusing to be ID'd right now.
That's correct.
He is labeled suspicious, yet no specific crime is articulated. Under Terry v. Ohio, 1968, officers must have reasonable, articulable suspicion of a specific crime to detain someone. Being suspicious alone is not a crime. The silence after that label speaks louder than the accusation.
Okay, sit tight for just a second.
And your name is Peck, badge number 7099.
Are you okay? Are you having a medical condition?
I'm fine.
Okay, because you're shaking quite a bit.
Yeah.
Are you on any drugs right now?
I'm talking to an armed guy who's
Okay, I'm
threatening
a police
me,
officer.
So, you know,
I'm a state
that's
certified
kind of a
police
reason
officer.
to be.
I haven't threatened you at any point. I'm just trying to determine what's going on.
Yeah, you've got your hand on your gun,
I have my hand resting
and
on my
you're
belt.
telling me I'm committing a crime, which I'm not.
Okay, you're a suspicious party
So
right now,
that's-
so I'm just stopping to speak to you.
Well,
Just trying to determine who you are, why you're filming the back area of the police department. That's all I'm doing.
okay. Well,
You're refusing to be ID'd right now. You're not going to supply your identification.
I'm not going to consent to anything.
Okay, I'm not asking you to consent. I'm asking you for your ID so I can verify
Well,
who
my
you
answer
are.
is no.
Okay.
You're asking me for it, I'm telling you no.
Sit tight for just a second. That's great.
Okay, what crime are you detaining me for?
You're a suspicious party right now.
Because you need reasonable suspicion that
Right.
I'm committing
And
a
you're-
crime.
Right. And
What crime?
You're a suspicious party right now, wandering around,
Okay,
filming a city
that's
building.
fine that you think
and
I'm
that's a little bit
suspicious,
unusual.
but what crime do you suspect me of committing?
Okay, I just explained to you. You can continue to talk in circles.
That's not
fine.
a crime. You told me it's not a crime.
I told you that you're a suspicious party who's walking around
But
in a
not
rear
of a
lot
crime.
filming personal
Just the
vehicles.
guy you don't like.
I've never met you before.
So what do you suspect me of doing?
I'm not sure. That's what I'm trying to determine right now.
Well, you need to have that to be able to detain me.
Okay, I'm not sure where
So
you got
right
your
now
law
you're
degree.
illegally detaining me.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you
Conducting an
are.
investigation. I'm speaking to you.
You are illegally detaining me.
Okay.
If you're just conducting an investigation, I can go. But you
can't go
told
right
me
now.
I'm being
No,
detained.
you are while I conduct an investigation
So
to try to
you
determine
need a
who you
crime
are.
that you suspect.
The officer admits detention while I conduct an investigation, yet cannot name a crime. Under the Fourth Amendment, detention without reasonable suspicion is unconstitutional. In Heibel v. 6th Judicial District Court, 2004, the Supreme Court ruled ID can only be required during a lawful stop. If the stop is unlawful, the ID demand collapses with it.
You suspect me of committing.
Sir, I'm not going to talk over you. I'm going to explain to you what's going on right now.
I mean, I'm just explaining you should know the law. You're a police
Okay.
officer.
And I've already explained to you why I've stopped you to speak to you.
Okay, well,
Okay? So the only reason that I'm trying to speak to you is because you're walking around the police department, filming the private areas of the police department, the back of the building, the front of the building. I got to determine who you are.
I've explained to you the law that you need to know, so I'm not really going to
Okay.
talk to
I'm
you
not sure where you
anymore.
got your criminal degree or your law degree, but I think you might want to get your money back on that one, okay? Sit tight for just a second, sir.
This is Officer Schreiner.
Doing
What's
all
your
right?
badge number?
8666. How you doing? What's going on today? You're all right? You're shaking a lot. Okay?
Do you have identification on you? Are you a resident of Middletown? Sir? Are you suffering from a medical condition?
Are you physically okay right now? It's a simple question. Was he in the back hall?
Yeah, he was actually right up on the back sidewalk, filming that lower arcade.
Oh, we got a real disaster here.
You know why we're making contact with you, sir? Sir, are you aware why we're making contact with you?
I already informed Officer Peck that I wasn't going to speak to you anymore, so
I didn't hear you say that. I apologize. I missed you when you said that.
I made it pretty clear.
Did you hear what happened in Meriden not too long ago? Sir, did you hear what happened in Meriden not too long ago?
I already informed Officer Peck I'm not going to speak to you, so if you have something to say to me, fine, but I'd like to be on my way.
Down on the back sidewalk.
We'll be on your way in a second. I just want to explain to you why we're talking. Okay? Can I do that? About 3 weeks ago, someone shot about 9 to 15 rounds off in the back of Meriden Police Department. Came cruisers, hit the building. Alright? It kind of heightens our awareness a little bit about people being around the back lot when it's unsecured and we have people coming in. Alright? That's why we're Alright? It's the only reason I'm talking to you. I'm aware you didn't do anything. That's fine. Have a good rest of your day.
Okay. You are aware that you took an oath to uphold the Constitution. You just violated my constitutional rights. You're required to suspect me of a crime before you detain me. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
So, what crime did you suspect me of committing? Do you feel bad when you violate your oath? You swore an oath to protect us and to uphold the Constitution. Do you feel any guilt when you don't uphold that oath? What about you, sir? What's your name and badge number? Officer Maturo. Do you feel guilt when you violate people's constitutional rights? You took an oath to honor the Constitution. How do you feel about that?
In the first encounter, an officer couldn't even name a crime, yet still demanded ID. But what happens when the setting shifts from a police department parking lot to a state correctional facility? Different uniforms, same question. Does policy override the Constitution?
Sorry?
Not allowed. Shut the phones off and get off the property.
Is this? Yeah, go
Shut the
ahead.
phones off and get off the
Lower,
property.
excuse me, sir. You don't have to scream. You know.
You can't. You don't seem to be able to hear me.
We called and asked if it was public or private, if it was accessible to the public.
Get out of here.
We spoke to Sergeant
Are you? Can we speak
Nelson.
to? Can we speak to a supervisor, please? Hey, what's going on? How you doing, ma'am?
Unfortunately, you can't be videotaping in here.
Under what law?
It's
We spoke to Sergeant Nelson, find out if it was public, if it was accessible to the public, if it was filming. So we spoke to her before we
on
came
state
in.
property there is no filming, so I'm gonna have to ask you
On-
to
on
leave
state?
property.
Well, state property is our property, right?
Is that a
You
lawful
can-
command?
Yes. Yes. You need to.
Do you have arrest powers?
If you would like.
A lawful command must be grounded in law, not merely internal policy. Under the First Amendment, filming in publicly accessible areas of government property is protected unless it interferes with operations. In Glick v. Cuniff, 2011, the First Circuit affirmed the right to record public officials in public spaces. The question lingers in the air. Is this law or preference?
Like to videotape, you can go back onto Route 1 and you can videotape there.
At the edge of the perimeter?
At the very entrance.
Let me ask you a quick question. Are you a police officer?
No, I'm not.
Do you have arrest powers to the citizens?
Sir, I'm asking you.
No, I'm not trying to have a
please
confrontation. I'm just finding out who you are.
leave. I
And
believe you are trying to have a confrontation.
no. We just want to film. We don't have any ill intention. We don't have anything
I'm
bad.
asking you to leave.
No, that's a lawful command. We will leave, but I'm going to call back and speak to your supervisor. Can I
No.
have your name, please?
No, she can't give us lawful commands because she can't arrest us.
Oh, she said it was a lawful command.
Well,
so I was
this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna call the police, and we're gonna debate this because this is a publicly accessible area, and we don't want you guys providing the public with wrong information.
So you can go out onto the main road.
We'll give
Well,
them.
well, actually, we're gonna wait right there, and you guys are
Okay.
you guys are actually violating the First Amendment by doing that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so we'll call them.
But remember, you work for the public.
Can I use your bathroom? Is your bathroom open to the public? Thanks. 311 Auditor.
Why would you say? Yeah, we're leaving, but I just a quick question. Why would you say that there's no film? Is it like a policy from here?
It's written right on the front entrance.
I didn't see.
This sign that says there's no photography.
Is that like a policy from the Department of Corrections, or is that a law? Can you answer?
It's
Because you know, if it's a policy, a policy, it's just pretty much a personal request. This is a publicly accessible area. You guys can ask.
You're trespassing.
Ma'am, how? No, we're leaving right now. I'm waiting for my friend. But there's no way that we could be trespassing on public property. This is state property. This is publicly funded. We pay for this place. How can you say I'm trespassing somewhere that I chipped in to build?
Are they quarantined on police?
This is a public place. You guys are violating the First Amendment right. But we're gonna verify. We're gonna find out the information. And if you're giving us wrong information, we're gonna file a complaint because you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be treating people like that. Policy is not law. Remember that. Policy is not law.
Figure out what the jurisdiction is, and we're not in any like unauthorized access points. So they're not sure what the issue is filming. So we're just trying to make sure that we didn't have a problem. So what is the issue? Because we're calling to ask them to help respond because you referred us to the police.
Okay. Well, the state police responding.
Right now they're tied up in crashes and stuff. He just Trooper Bartuka just doesn't see the issue with us being here because it's public. We're not in any restricted areas. So are we all set to go back in then? We're not.
Well, I guess the police is gonna
And
arrive
if
then.
we go back in,
You guys are
what
wasting
happens?
tax dollars. They can't even make it here right now.
For Walpole PD to show up.
They said that they're not going to come because they don't have jurisdiction. It's state police.
Yeah, we called them too.
Walpole
Yep.
PD?
Yeah, we called them too.
Okay.
So just
All
do
right,
the
so
right
we'll wait
thing.
for
It's
them to
public
show up.
access. We're working on a story.
Trooper
We're not here to bother anyone.
What are you trying to do?
We're just taking picture of your lobby, all the trophies, everything that you have there. What seems to be the problem?
sorry,
you
Trooper.
know?
Where are you guys
What's this
leaving
for?
off with this? Like, what is?
So right now we're just at the main entrance of the MCI Information Center, and they're saying that it's illegal for us to be here. We're trespassing.
I mean, although it's a public place, it might be an issue with recording in a facility like that. That might be the issue.
Is that the issue you guys are saying?
Hey, do you guys have a policy that says?
Yes.
Okay,
And
so-
when you walk into the lobby,
But you have to understand-
There's
Okay, Trooper, I
there's signs
appreciate
when you walk into the lobby that say that there's no recording devices
I
allowed.
understand.
cell phones.
I understand, but you know we have freedom of the press in the United States.
I understand that.
So we have the right to film in there. I understand it's a policy, but we can refuse to follow your policy. You know, there's nothing the police can do. Is that the state police?
No, this is Walpole. Is that K9? Or,
Okay.
is that Walpole PD?
How you doing, officer? We need some assistance, please. We need some assistance. They're telling us that we can't film here in the public lobby. We're working on a story. We're citizen journalists. They're giving us wrong information. They're saying it's state property. State property is public property. We're not in a restricted area. We're not doing anything illegal in there. We're not creating a disturbance. There's nobody in there. And she's giving us lawful orders
Under penalty.
under trespass. She's threatening to trespass me from a public place.
Yeah, you guys can't film in there.
Under what law?
What'd she tell you?
Well,
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know.
Unless you have correctional business here.
We do.
Cannot-
We do.
No.
We're working on a story about the
Alright,
correctional
then
department.
you need to go through the proper channels.
But that's only a request, ma'am. We don't have to do that. There's no way that he would be able to arrest me for video recording in a public place. That's not a crime. This is a public place.
And
You
you
know,
have
I understand. I understand that you guys have a tough job to do.
We contacted Sergeant Nelson as well.
a sign out front.
I understand, ma'am, but you can have a
says-
sign that says whatever. You have to follow the law. We have the right to film in there. You can have a policy that says you're pretty much asking people not to film in the public area. But we don't have to agree to that.
Trooper Bar
We have
said,
we have freedom of the press.
Trooper Bartuka, badge 3311, said that if we're in a restricted access point, absolutely, there's secure information that's private. But the issue is if we're just in a public place that's this public easement, his exact words, public easement, roadway, or information center that's open to the general public on public property, he doesn't see the issue. He wouldn't even send a trooper out here. He said if they give you a hard time, I guess just call us back. It's not illegal to film in public.
Not only that, but we're offended at the way that the gentleman over there behind the counter approached us because he's screaming at us.
He's a little mad.
And there's no reason for them to treat the public like that.
Are you guys good from it? I'm gonna go talk to him.
Yeah, you can go.
Thank you.
So we're gonna go back in there.
No,
And we're
I'm sorry.
yes,
you
no,
can't
we're
go
gonna
back in.
we're
You
gonna
can
you're not a
stop,
police
you can
you're not
film.
you're not a police officer. We're
I-
going with the police officer.
You're
Thank
now
you. Thank you.
trespassing on
No, we're
state
not.
property.
No, we're not. You can't give me lawful orders, ma'am. You can't even arrest me.
You know what he said?
I'm not an inmate.
He said to hold on. So let him come
You
back.
can't trespass anyone from a public place unless they're breaking the law. Not the policy. I could break any policy. I could break any policy in a public place. Unless it's well, I wouldn't go in there smoking because that's illegal.
Like the
You know?
like the First
And
Amendment guarantees you the right to film in a public place.
Inside of your public lobby, of course. It's an indoor place.
I mean,
You
even
can't
the
smoke
state-
in there.
even the
But
state police said
but
it's-
I'm only going in there with a camera.
I understand that you're trying to do a story, and that's all well and good. But you gotta understand there's rules and regulations because of security and things like that. And there's reasons why you're not supposed to be doing those things.
But those
understand.
reasons don't trump the Constitution, sir.
That's right.
It's freedom of the press. It's public. We're not in any secure areas. Enough for nothing. Have you had private or secure?
The Constitution and the policy and procedure of the institution
They're
are
not
a separate thing.
moving.
The Constitution and
Now
the
they're-
policy and procedure of the institution
They're
are
not
a separate thing.
moving.
Yeah, law is law, sir.
But we're waiting for the assistance of the
Law,
police
law
to come
is
back
law.
and tell us.
No, you think if the police officer didn't agree with us, he would have just walked that way. He's gonna instruct you guys. He's gonna inform you guys that we're allowed to do this.
Yeah.
And you guys just kicked us out. Made the Department of Corrections look bad on the internet.
We're trying to do a story about you guys, about what you're doing to help you, to show what you guys
What's
do.
the story that you guys are trying to do for us?
I just told you we're doing a story on the state police because this is what? This is a classification center, correct? Just about how you guys do things, what you do, like how your job is different from the other prisons. We called.
That's not.
Sergeant Nelson said
we
this
called.
was fine.
We
Who'd you call? You called the state police. You have to.
I called Sergeant Nelson,
we
your
called,
supervisor.
Yes.
Yes,
We
here.
called everybody, and
I
the
have the
only
call
ones that
recorded if
the only
you'd like
ones
to
that have a
listen to
problem
it.
with it is you.
Keep recording. Let me hold on.
I'll tell you right now. Listen, if the Department of Corrections told me that you guys had permission to be here to record because of a movie or anything else, we would let you do that. But we were never notified that you guys have permission.
But you guys need to understand that we were nice enough to call and ask. We don't need to do that. We could just walk in and do it. We have freedom of the press. This is state property. You know, this is state property. You know that.
Okay.
You guys made the wrong decision by kicking us out, telling us that we're trespassing. You made a wrong decision.
I'm telling you right now, you can't be here recording like you guys are.
Well, that's what you guys say because it's your job to inform people that. But that's not policy. Is not law.
So this is your boss right now. I mean, supervisor, Sergeant Nelson. From this
Public property.
We were just asking. That was about financial stuff. We were getting finances.
You can't trespass anyone, ma'am.
But we asked her. It's public property.
What's your name, ma'am?
The issue's here. Well, so you see where the disconnect is? It's not like we just showed up. We called first, and we sought permission. So we're not here causing trouble because if we walked in the door and we're like,
You are.
No, we're not. You're causing trouble by giving us unlawful orders.
Maybe needs to better inform you guys. Because she told us we can do something that you're telling us we can't. Either
She told
way.
you can come here and record. I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
do that
public
in that
property.
conversation. I heard her say that
10-minute
you
phone
can
It's
call.
public property. You can't tell people what to do in a public space.
She said we couldn't. Policy doesn't trump law. It's the Constitution. It's freedom of the press. This is public.
The law says that you can go anywhere at any time.
On a public
And
easement,
record.
public access and record.
That's right.
No expectation of privacy in public.
Correct.
That's right.
So if that's
Freedom of the press, freedom of religion, right to protest. and it covers very specifically under freedom of the press. On a public easement, public access, that is not private, it is publicly funded, you can film.
So,
Hi, are the police
so
coming?
right now, I mean,
The police is here.
you guys are talking to us and filming us right now and everything.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
if you
thank
go
you.
back into that lobby right now,
All
what are
right,
you
bye.
looking to film?
Just
Well, we don't really have to answer any questions.
But it was pretty
You're
obvious.
you're asking us to answer questions.
Because you guys work for the
We
public.
didn't go to you. You guys
You-
came to us first. What was I doing?
You guys work for us.
The different.
Who pays your salary, ma'am?
I made a comment.
Who
about
pays your
placing
salary?
cell phone,
You don't even want to identify yourself.
We didn't approach the desk or the counter or the glass until he called us over.
And he's screaming too.
Get off the phone. We didn't even come up to you guys. We had no intention of talking to you. I mean, we would have been in and out in 60 seconds. We just wanted artwork in the front because you can't get it all.
Now we're going to prove a point. Now we're going to prove a point.
Nothing. Google Street goes everywhere that is public and legal to film, and Google Maps went right up to your front door.
And you want to know the only right that you have? The only thing that you can do right now is search people's cars when they go in there.
You have to get permission if it's public, and secondly, I call, but it doesn't really matter because it's public. Let me ask you a question. Would you have to ask me permission to drive down that road? Of course not. It's public. If I took, right. If I took your picture and you asked me to not post it, would I have a right? I would be able to post your picture if I wanted. You don't need a release. It's public. There's zero expectation of privacy in public.
Do you think paparazzis like celebrities like paparazzis? They hate them.
They were repealed in 2018, so now you can audio record people. If it's in public, it's legal. If I'm at your house, I'm violating your personal privacy, I'm surveilling you, and I'm subject to arrest. So for example, Middleton Jail, right? Middleton Jail is privately contracted, so there's a little bit of a dispute there. This is DOC. This is state of Massachusetts. Even the state police said, I can't send someone out there because there's no issue. You're doing a constitutionally protected activity. And he goes, you weren't in like any behind gates, walls? I said, no, we're in the information center. And he goes, I didn't.
So you seem to understand what's going on.
So we'll have to call the Walpole PD. We'll talk to the Walpole PD and we'll find out what.
Well, we're telling you right now, it's common sense. Did you swear? Let me ask you something. Officer, let me ask you something. Did you swear an oath to the Constitution? Sir, are you a police officer or are you corrections?
I work in corrections.
Oh, okay, okay.
The captain just wants you to write any names of the PDs that come down.
Okay, the cops are here.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
How you doing, officer?
Good, how are you, sir?
Good. We're just working on a story where we called the state police.
Okay.
They're actually they only have 2 guys out right there. They don't even want to waste the time coming over here. We spoke to the Departments of Corrections before we got here.
Okay.
And we were instructed that this is state property. This is publicly funded.
Okay.
We have freedom of the press in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on a story.
Okay.
I understand that there might be a policy from the Department of Corrections that says that we're not allowed to film in the public lobby.
Okay.
But that will only be a request.
Well, do me a favor. Let me speak to them for a few minutes.
Sure.
Keep this roadway open for traffic.
Sure.
Okay, and I'll get back to you in a minute.
No problem.
All right, thank you.
Just
Be with you in a
please inform them that this is a public place and we're allowed to. We have freedom of the press.
Got it. I'll be with you in a minute, all right?
He's going to talk to them first.
Hey, thank you, officer. So things have calmed down a little bit. DOC officer, can I please have your name?
No, she doesn't want to identify, bro.
Oh, she's feeling.
Stay over here. Stay away from the road.
Chapter 48, Chapter 46, subsection 98. Massachusetts state laws states that you have to identify when asked by a citizen. Chapter 46, subsection 98. We've never been here before.
No, we left. We left and we're.
We've never been
What?
here before.
How did we refuse? How did we refuse to leave? How did? No, she's lying. If we would have refused to leave, we would have been out here waiting for you. She's a tyrant. Sir, please uphold the. They're not law enforcement officers. They're correctional officers. Bro, he's gonna side with them.
Well, let's just see. Because she said it's an ongoing
She
issue.
said-
We've never been here before.
She said we refuse to leave. Officer, they don't know the law.
Okay. We called before we came anyways. We spoke to Sergeant Nelson.
Okay.
To ask if it was public, if this is public access, legal to film.
Okay.
When we approached her inside about 60 seconds, we were told we were trespassing, but we haven't been served a trespass notice. They told us that they did not have police powers. We had to contact the police. So we contacted you guys. You guys said that it wasn't. I spoke to your dispatcher. It was a female. Said that this was not her jurisdiction. We would have to contact the state police.
Okay.
So we were actually waiting over there.
Can you do me a favor? Can you just step
Back off
off?
the
Yeah,
roadway?
because
Yeah.
you're in the roadway.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
So we
You're right.
called state.
So
we
when
spoke
they're,
to-
listen, they're not looking for a problem, but I guess you were causing a little bit of a disturbance.
No, we
in the
weren't
lobby.
even
We have it all on
talking.
film.
Were you videotaping?
We have
Yes.
everything on film. We weren't
Yeah.
even
So-
speaking.
And we called beforehand.
So
and then
I
we
was
called
just
state
informed that
police.
they have signs posted, no videotaping.
That's fine.
They have vehicles
That's fine.
subject to search
That's fine. But
signs.
those are not
this
laws.
is DOC property, it's state property. They're asking you to leave right now.
Oh my
if
God.
If you can remain across the street for
Officer.
them just to keep the peace.
Officer, are you a law enforcement officer or a policy enforcement officer?
No, I'm a law enforcement
That's
officer.
there's no law that states you can't
Okay,
film
but-
in a public place
but
on
they-
on state property. They can ask, but we can refuse.
Okay. So
We're just working
at
on
the
a
very
story.
least, can you stay up?
It's
off
our
the
first.
roadway? Can you
Well,
stay
we
up
just
off
want.
the roadway? Because when
We
I
are.
arrived, you were in the middle of the road. So.
Yes.
Well, yeah, we were talking to them. But you can ask Officer Carville. We were standing off on the grass. We were not blocking the roadway.
I understand.
And we contacted, before you guys showed up, we contacted police because I wanted to know, no one could tell me who has jurisdiction here. And my question is, if I'm not issued a trespass, I'm pretty sure that I'm correct. That if I'm not issued a trespass, I'm not trespassing. And we're going in there to film. We're not in any secure access points.
But is there
This
any
is-
signs that say no video?
There could
There's
be.
a sign in
This
the...
gentleman, this officer told me that
There might be a sign. There might be a policy, sir.
Okay.
But policy is not law.
The sign that we did see says vehicles are subject
Policy
to
is not
search
law.
All right.
upon entering there, but we didn't have time to look at any
So do
signs
me a
because as soon
favor,
as you
for the
walked in,
timing, so we
screamed
figure
at.
it out. It's DOC property. Just stay off this roadway.
Who funds DOC?
Okay, it's state property.
So who funds the state?
Okay, it's state property.
Oh my God! All for guys with cameras.
And the other issue, she
This
said
is a
it's
Walpole, Norfolk. You're right on the Walpole, Norfolk town line.
Okay, well maybe they will. Maybe they will. Oh, how you doing, officer? We need assistance. How you doing, officer? Officer, we arrived here. We're working on a story, right? We just wanted to take some pictures of the public lobby. Okay. We contacted the Department of Corrections before we got here, and we were instructed that indeed it was public property. We are allowed to be here in public property and exercise our First Amendment right to freedom of the press. And the lady over here is giving us unlawful orders on video because of the policy of the Department of Corrections. I'm trying to nicely inform her that policy is not law. So it's like, I don't understand why she's trying to trespass me from a public place. We're not causing a disturbance. Everything is on video. We've been extremely cordial. As soon as we walked in, the correctional officer started screaming at us. I was offended by that, because we're actually good at what we do, and we're citizen journalists, and we're not trying to create a disturbance. We're just working on a story. She's giving us wrong information. First of all, we contacted you guys before we got here. Second of all, we contacted the state police before we got here, and they say that we're indeed allowed to be here. They don't even want to come over here right now because
it could be all of a miscommunication or a misunderstanding, so that's what we're going to get to the bottom of.
You guys seem very nice. You're very
we're not trying to we're not trying to create a disturbance. We just want to work on a story that we would like to publish on the Department of Corrections. That's it.
So what we're going to do, we're going to get to the bottom of it. Okay?
Sure.
So what I'm going to have you do, just stay off on the
Yes,
so
sir.
we're not on the road. So
Yes, sir.
nobody gets hurt.
Yes, sir.
We'll get to you guys in just a second.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much.
So that's why we were there, because at that point, the state trooper was talking.
How you doing,
to
officer?
that officer.
Doing well, yourself? Good, good.
Just hang tight right here. I'm going to go check in with them. So that's the only reason why we were there in the first place.
let me speak to them. Again, I came in late on this, as you know.
I mean, if you're giving me a lawful command under the threat of arrest to say
She's
that's
asked
the
you
case.
to leave, so let me...
And we did.
Yeah, but there's a difference between asking somebody to leave and demanding somebody to leave. This is state property. This is public property. They're funded by us. You know, they can have a policy that says that we're not allowed to film in there, but that would be only a request for the public. We're not trying to go into any restricted areas. He seems to understand. He seems to understand, but she doesn't understand. She's giving us unlawful orders. She's threatening to arrest, to detain, and trespass, and a whole bunch of things. We're not here to create disturbance. We never did. And as soon as we walked in, another gentleman in there started screaming at us. It's all on video. I haven't stopped filming since I got here. So since they were, misinformed, we decided to come all the way over here, which she's lying about that we refused to leave, because we never refused to leave.
Okay.
We said we're leaving, but we're gonna get to the bottom of this, because this is public property. This is state property. State property is public property. Just city property is public property as well.
Okay.
You know, it's like I don't understand why they treated us like that. We have freedom of the press. It's a First Amendment right. You know, you're a police officer. You're an expert in doing the right thing. That's your job, to do the right thing.
Try to, yeah.
To do the right thing and make sure everyone else is doing the right thing. So, there's no way in hell that she can give me lawful orders, because she's not a police officer. She can, I guess, detain and do whatever, move around an inmate, but we're not inmates.
All we're asking is if you could please not go into the lobby.
Well, that's what we were gonna leave, but now we're just trying to prove a point, because look what you guys just did. These officers are not cheap, okay? They charge a lot for the job that they do, and we're all paying for it. And look how many cops we have here. There's like $500,000 in salary right there. Yeah, but you know what? They should be looking for a criminal right now, not guys with cameras.
Because you guys shoot bullets. I shoot frames per second.
After multiple officers arrive, the conclusion is simple. Filming is allowed. Government property that is open to the public is generally treated as a limited public forum. Restrictions must be reasonable and viewpoint neutral under First Amendment doctrine. The reversal says more than any argument did.
I got you. I'll come to you, man.
Okay, thank you.
Here's what's going to happen. You go to your lobby, you want to record, do whatever you got to do, as long as you're not getting people's faces, being, rude to people who are obviously going in there, conduct their business. Yeah. You do what you got to do.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Dude, you're the best.
All right?
Yeah, right on.
Just please be respectful.
No,
that's what we got to do. You know what I mean?
Because you know what happened?
We don't want this,
You want to know something? As soon as we walked in there, they were screaming at us.
Yep. I got you.
We
Listen.
never, I know exactly what the disorderly,
I
know what disorderly.
You just got to understand.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, sir.
Hey,
I usually don't give my name, but my
thank
name
you
is
so
Josh.
much.
I wanna
Enrique.
introduce
Enrique,
myself
guys.
because you guys are.
Yeah, we don't have an issue.
appreciate
Just don't cause a disturbance in there and
don't-
keep this open.
You know what offends me right now, though? That there's a lot of you guys right here.
Yep.
You guys should be actually looking for,
And you're good.
other
We
things.
don't know
This is
what's going on.
constitutionally protected activity.
I got you.
You know?
You know what?
Like I said,
You guys-
right on
No,
the,
you're doing your job.
You guys get a good salary. How much is all these salaries right here combined? Come on, more than $500,000 for sure.
The thing is, I'm not
That's our money that they're spending right now by calling you.
You guys do what you got to do. You don't be respectful, and that's all they're asking, all right?
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank
Guys,
you.
enjoy your day.
Ma'am, that's what we call the walk of shame. Don't treat people like that, please.
Let's just talk about it. Bridge the gap. Don't just come at us and let us arrest
and there
and
certainly
scream.
is a gap that needs to be bridged. And
And it's officers like you that are doing it. Thank you. Thanks, officer. So I wonder if they learned something today.
I think we provided a free education.
Wow, the walk of shame. This is incredible. The walk of shame.
Got all that helmet gear and stuff on. You must be baking like a brownie.
Yeah, at least the sun's not out.
Jesus.
Congratulations, ma'am. You just cost the state some money. How do you feel? We tried to explain it to you. You're a nice guy. You're a nice guy, but don't go by what she says. Don't go by what she says. You're a nice guy. And this is going to be on YouTube, by the way. We're the #1 YouTube channel in Rhode Island and New England.
What's your YouTube channel?
Auditing America. Find us.
For all and
Two confrontations, two different locations, one undeniable truth. When you know the law, authority loses its intimidation. Video 1 proved that suspicious is not a crime. Video 2 showed that policy can never override the Constitution. And the moment the law was clearly stated, misplaced confidence collapsed. No yelling, no aggression, just knowledge, calm pressure, and standing firm. In this country, freedom is not requested, it is exercised. You don't need to stay silent, you need to understand the law. If you've ever been unlawfully asked for ID, share your experience below. Subscribe so you're never caught off guard by words like policy or suspicious again. This is ID Refusal Pro, where legal knowledge is your shield and civil liberty is your strongest weapon. Know the law, hold your ground, resist peacefully.